Hello and welcome to A Journey to King's Cross, a Harry Potter book podcast. We just finished chapter 15, Beauxbatons and Durmstrang. The chapter art is basically the Durmstrang ship slowly rising out of the Hogwarts lake. Though I can't help but wonder, since we're so far north, if Loch wouldn't be more appropriate. The Hogwarts Loch.
It is in Scotland.
Nessie! Maybe that's the true great deception is that the giant squid is in fact Nessie.
Well, no, because Nessie is located in Loch Ness.
Details.
Very important details.
Details. Who needs them?
The giant squid's his own creature, okay? Besides,
details
are important. Isn't that the whole point of this podcast? Is about how the details are important.
It's also a perfect excuse for me to blatantly come up with concepts and ideas and stuff that could or could not entirely be based off of reality of the story itself.
And besides, if you've read Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, I'm pretty sure they say that Nessie is a Kelpie, so fuck you.
That's a bit bit far off from Plesiosaur, but alright, whatever.
They're shapeshifters.
Oh, they are in this universe? Kelpies are usually water horses, to be honest.
It's from Mr.
Yeah.
We have the book.
Sometimes they're women. Debate. Yes.
Debate? I was talking shit.
Well, now that you've brought it up, and we have a book to settle it.
I can't imagine
your
there. Husband was organizing the basement area, and where would he have put a book away at? Couldn't possibly be the bookshelf, like 2 or 3 feet away from your back.
Your guys' bookshelf has changed several times. Don't be mean.
Could have bloody well asked. Hey, Mitchell, you know where the book is? On the bookshelf.
Hey, audience, if next time it's just me and Kimmy, don't be surprised. My husband is sassing me because he moved something without informing me.
I wasn't aware. I was to keep you informed of the goings-on of the basement.
As the head librarian, she should be informed.
Exactly!
The head librarians left the DVD library completely unmolested for the last 3 weeks.
She's only in charge of the books.
In the American library system and stuff, if I can get something at the regular library, it counts.
That's fair. But also,
while she's looking up the
DVDs are
Kelpie,
delegated to the not head librarian, so
that's news to me, considering she put away and organized most of them already.
Yep. Start at the second paragraph. The world's largest Kelpie is found in Loch Ness, Scotland.
Ha-ha!
Okay, so the British and Irish water demon can take various shapes, so it most often appears as a horse with bulrushes for a mane. Having lured the unwary onto its back, it will dive straight to the bottom of its river or lake and devour the rider, letting the entrails float to the surface. The correct means to overcome a Kelpie is to get a bridle over its head with a placement charm, which renders it docile and unthreatening. Its favorite form is that of a sea serpent. The International Confederation of Wizard Observers realized that they were not dealing with a true serpent when they saw it turn into an otter on the approach of a team of Muggle investigators and then transform back into a serpent when the coast was clear. And that is why we have never been able to get a picture of Nessie.
I'm not the biggest fan of Miss Rowling herself, basically, but I have to admit that is actually pretty cute. Adding the actual, adding the Loch Ness into the actual verse itself.
And ha ha, I was right.
That's fine. I wasn't really trying to take this too seriously, but
I
it felt
know.
like you jumped on the opportunity to prove me wrong.
Absolutely.
When don't we?
Jesus, can't even have a bad theory on this
I can't
podcast.
have wins against Cameron, so I'll take him where I can get him.
Oh, so because he's always right, I get to take the lumps. Got it. Great.
Yep.
I've got 2 wives now, apparently.
Well, yeah, Kimmy's my wife, so
Yeah.
by extension.
Oh, for God's sake.
Look,
Anybody listening to this podcast is going to think we're going to have a really weird poly relationship or something.
They can think
They probably already think that anyway.
You know, out of all of the podcasts and videos I've listened to, I've never heard 2 women and a guy on a podcast. My instant thought was, they're banging.
Yeah, but you've never heard them both jump on you or on the guy like we do. So
Making a
phrasing there.
lot of assumptions
Oh
there.
my.
Oh, for God's sake. Anyway, we get our first response from Sirius and stuff and everything. Oh, no, wait. That's later. We start off with Harry trying to dissuade Sirius from actually returning to Britain and everything.
And having to persuade his owl not to be mad at
I
him.
love how Hermione's immediate reaction is that you know that's a lie.
Yeah.
I like
So?
What it is? Oh my gosh.
Oh my god, I lied to keep Sirius safe? I'm a terrible person.
Right? Like you don't have to tell him that he's
I like
lying.
how she's
He's
like-
aware.
She's raring to go, dude. She's like building up a lecture and everything, and Ron's got to shut her down. And I'm just sort of like, oh my
Oh,
god.
shit. She's 14. Of course she's ready for a fight and a lecture. She's getting hormones.
Oh god.
It's true.
If she hasn't already gotten them.
Now, hold on. I want to circle back to something. Kimmy, we've made comments that Harry's ADHD, right?
Yeah, I think so.
How do we feel about Hermione? Is she ADHD or no?
If anything, autistic.
She's not.
I don't know enough about it. I know a lot of ADHD people crave fights because of that dopamine high.
That explains so much.
That
Which is why I was
might be a
like,
good reason for Ron or Hermione, considering they spend a good eventually Harry gets mad at them for arguing so much, and they get mad at him for interrupting their argument.
Oh my god.
But also, I don't think ADHD because she's such a stickler for the rules.
Yeah.
She's very precise. She's got an incredible memory.
And OCD maybe a little.
No, no. A lot of people
No,
think OCD
no, because that's not.
because it's not like everything in a place. It's you have to have. There's a certain ritual, and if you don't do the ritual, whatever it is, the world is going to end.
Yeah.
It's more of a panic onset by not doing certain things.
Defer back to my autism.
A lot of people think that it's everything in order because of Monk.
No, but she's very she's strict. She wants to follow the schedule. She wants to follow the rules. So not OCD. Maybe it's a little autistic.
I doubt that was the intent, but
No.
I don't really see it not like.
Listen, these were all started being written in the 90s, early 2000s. 100% they didn't care about ADHD and autism then enough to incorporate it as...
Women don't get ADHD.
If only.
Well, that's what they thought back then.
Yeah.
That it wasn't really...
Because we weren't hyperactive like the boys.
Yeah. Because it's not about physical hyperactivity. It's just boys are less disciplined, and that's why they squirm so much.
But yeah, boys typically have...
I'm constantly moving and shifting and everything, and I don't think I've got it. If I do, it's a mild enough case that I'm capable of
managing without meds.
Yeah.
But if you think about a lot... Okay, never mind.
All right, trying to get back on topic. Somebody's got a time to make. We of course get the intro. I don't know. Do we actually have the Owlry as a introduction in this? I don't remember if we've ever actually gone to the Owlry before this.
I think we haven't physically gone. I know that they've sent like Ron to the Owlry.
Okay. I know it was at least mentioned in one of the movies and stuff.
But I think this is the first time he's ever been in it.
Yeah. I have to admit though, the relationship is like I already can see like the relationship threads and stuff between Ron and Hermione. The fact that Ron's capable of shutting her down so effectively and stuff. Yeah. It's like, okay, I like you, so you can get away with this sort of thing. I feel if Harry tried to pull this move and stuff, she'd just get angrier at him.
Or if it was like Neville or any of their other friends.
Oh, Neville's not gonna Neville wouldn't. He'd roll the heck right over.
But like I couldn't think of anybody. Fred and George. If Fred and George shut her down with that Lockhart shit, she would be like, "Shut the fuck up."
Oh yeah, she'd have some sort of awesome offhand comments. The Lockhart thing is later, I think, when they actually are like discussing things later with the actual classes. We finally get the Imperius being used on people in this one, which I kind of blended a little bit with the previous of the Mad-Eye Moody chapter itself, where Harry actually starts to defend it, and of course we have the theory over here.
What if the reason he could shake it off so well was because of the fact that he's got a piece of Voldemort in him, and it's harder to control two people with one spell. especially because with how they were, it's very clearly another voice in the back of your head is like, no, that's stupid. Why would you do that? I don't want to do that. And it's very, it comes, but the way it's like read, it comes off very much like that could be Voldemort being like, why would you do that? No.
Like, but yeah, like the way it's worded, and like this could be like outside looking in, having seen and read all of it, but it's I don't want to. It's a very standoffish, bleh, whatever, holier than thou
and
feeling, and
you don't get
that's
to tell
very
me what
Tom
to do.
Riddle. That's very Tom Riddle.
Slight problem. Tom Riddle gets introduced in this story and everything, like full body and everything, and his high-pitched voice gets reminded. The voice in the back of his head does not sound like Lord Voldemort. And teenage boy, I don't feel like doing something. I don't really want to do that. It sounds very teenage boy coded as well, basically.
Kodo, drop it.
Don't want to cooperate with something.
She was, I think, chewing on this thing that fell off.
I
She already dropped it.
I forgot to grab it. Good girl, Mako.
Good girl. Sorry.
So, to kind of counter argument and stuff and everything, Harry's always had a very strong character. It's been established that only people with a strong strong character are capable of fighting it off. Like, you could theoretically try to fight this off your entire life and not be capable of it if you're not of the right character and mindset.
True, but also he's only 14 and he's the only one in his class able to do it, and I'm pretty sure that some of the other people in his class also have strong wills.
So, counterpoint, Harry Potter was able to produce a Patronus, which is also a spell that most grown adult wizards can't do, and he did that last year.
I'm going to throw in a different point.
But he only did it because he already knew that he could, okay?
Actually, he did it during the Quidditch match against Ravenclaw.
Not fully fledged.
No, it was. It charged him
No.
down. It was a full Patronus. He just didn't know what it was because he was so busy
It didn't
trying
have
to
a
go after
shape,
it.
I thought. I thought it just kind of, a rush of silver light attacked it.
Only
Oh,
a
that
full
was when it
Patronus can charge another opponent. A mist only creates a barrier in front of
Yeah,
you.
there's the shield.
Lupin was
Oh.
very specific about the difference between a full Patronus and the Misty
Okay.
Shield.
Well, anyway.
My counter-ish point is okay. So we've mentioned that Harry has ADHD. We suspect that he has ADHD. What is a very common trait in ADHD? I need to do the thing. I need to do the thing.
Somebody tells you to do the thing.
I can't do the thing.
That's true.
So why is... Yes, I know that's why I'm bringing it up. My husband is giving me the eyes. Yes, I know about them both. Okay?
She's also gone on record telling me that I need to yell at her in order to get her properly motivated to do
He can't ask me to do it because then I'm like, well, fuck that. I want to do it now. And I know I'm like that. But then if he gets pissed off, I'm like, well, shit, now I have to do shit. I don't know why.
Look, man,
But-
we never said any of it makes sense.
Nothing on ADHD makes sense. But I'm just that... If you look at it from like what mental illness does Harry have? The fact that he's just able to kick off the Imperious Curse so easily is like kind of like I originally was against it, but now I'm like talking myself into it because it's like I want to do the thing. I want to do the thing. I can't do the thing.
Executive dysfunction.
It's a distinct possibility.
Did either of you guys, while they were describing Harry experiencing the Imperious Curse, have a flashback to Doctor Who?
No. For what?
What?
It was either late 9 or early 10. 10th Doctor, or late 9th. I think it was 9th Doctor. He was I think it was telling Rose, you lot love to be subjugated. As in, like, the human race.
Oh, yeah.
So, like, the way they're
It sounds like something
Imperious
Nine
Curse,
would. It sounds like something
I
Nine
think it
would
was
like
Nine.
belt out in terms
Yeah.
of anger
I
and
wanna
frustration.
say-
He was much more. He was much more willing to be
Call it as he saw it.
call humans out on their
Yeah.
humanity, basically, in a sense. 10th Doctor was a little bit more humans.
Yeah.
9 was a little jaded.
Yeah.
Yeah. But, like, the way they're describing the Imperious Curse, it's like, why would anybody, like, if it's just, like, this free zone, why would anybody want to fight it?
That's the whole point. You make it a nice place so people don't realize what's happening.
The fact that it was described as a very pleasant sensation and that he kind of was like waft, sort of, so to speak, and everything was definitely like I was like, yeah, that makes a sickening level of sense, basically.
I mean, if you think about it, it's not any different than like the way drugs make euphoric. It's like you look at the after effects of drugs and you're like, why would anybody do this in the first place? But when you think about how it makes you feel during,
that's true.
Gets even darker if you want to consider the fact that the Imperious Curse is considered illegal, but it seems to have a similar sensation and ability to a love potion as well.
Also illegal.
I think those are actually being. I don't think they are actually.
Oh yeah, you're right. You know what? No, they're not.
It's basically it's the equivalent of the alternative.
What'd you do?
It's like a date rape drug, only it's more female coded than male coded.
Which leads to, why aren't love potions heavily restricted?
No idea.
Because Fred and George are able to sell them legally in their store. Well, then again, it's during the reign of Voldemort, so the restrictions, love potions probably aren't high on their list. But also, wouldn't Voldemort be pissed about love potions?
I don't even know if he ever got the full context of his conception, to be perfectly honest. It doesn't seem like that. Like he seemed to be under the impression that his dad abandoned him. So I don't know if anybody would like. I feel like it took Dumbledore a lot of work and effort to actually track down the full life story of the guy, and I don't think Voldemort cared after a certain point. But we, of course, get a brief mention of the events of the book 3 and everything with, like, I'll be taking a leaf out of Professor Moody's book. I hear you make a great ferret towards Malfoy for being a prat, which I personally feel is much more on point, especially considering Hagrid, before he became a teacher, was very much willing to, like, call Malfoy out on his BS, and it always bothered me a little bit that he was so willing to roll over, so to speak, during year 3 and everything. Yeah. So it's like, this feels back up to form for Hagrid, where he's just sort of like, you're writing lines. What good does that do you? You'll do something useful or you get out, sort of thing. That's the way we do things at Hogwarts. You know what I mean? He's got his no nonsense back, so to speak. Cedric constantly being peppered in over the course of the story and stuff and everything, because I think we've got a Hufflepuff toady that basically mentions Ernie Macmillan. I don't think we like Ernie, do we? If I recall correctly,
we didn't, but now he's okay.
I could have sworn there was a Hufflepuff student that bailed during the final battle, so to speak.
Oh, I don't remember about that.
Might be, but I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't blame anybody who's like, I'm not gonna fight.
I know, but he was, like, thoroughly pointed out for pushing first years out of the way, basically. It wasn't that he didn't want to fight. It was that he was willing to put people... Coward. Yeah, he was, like, that was more of it. If you're waiting to get the fuck out of there and everything, and you're like, okay, women and children first, then I'm gonna get the hell out of here. Fine. No big deal. Not everybody needs to go out there and risk their life and everything. But if you're actively shoving children out of the way so you can survive, and it's like your 7th year, you're basically a grown-ass man at that point, no. Sorry. Bitch. You're going to be called a bitch for the rest of your life, and you're just going to have to deal with that fact. Anyway.
I love how Ernie was like, I'm going to go tell Cedric. And Ron or Harry were like, Cedric? Huh?
Like, and Fred and George are like, imagine that idiot as our champion.
To be fair, Cedric seems to be a decent enough bloke for what little we get to know about the guy. We of course get a nice reminder of the subplot of Fred and George and stuff, and their whole blackmailing nonsense with Ludo Bagman. That eventually gets revealed at the end of the book. Spoilers. We get another touch-up for Spew and everything, which is apparently not going super well. Apparently there's a couple of students that are actually interested in everything, so apparently
just
she's not
willing to
do the work.
Become involved.
I mean, isn't that like for most social projects and stuff and everything? Most people are like, oh yeah, I'll like it or thumbs up on,
but
Twitter.
Going to the rally, no.
And actually doing it, that's a horse of a different color. I say that as a person who's never actually gone to any rallies for any major events or anything along those lines. Most I ever did was donate to, I think it was that helping women's fund and everything and stuff for like people who'd gotten hurt by SA damages and stuff and everything.
To be fair, we're in Southeast Michigan. There's not many chances for rallies here.
There was the No Kings rally that was over there near the Culvers we drove by that one time.
I didn't say there was no chances. I said there's not many.
I wouldn't have mind going and everything, but I was with my grandfather and everything, so I wasn't exactly in a vehicle at the time.
Yeah.
He didn't even know what was going on. I basically, I was like, well, isn't that just nice? I wish I could live that ignorant of the political events going on around me.
One thing I will always say is that sometimes I wish I was as stupid as most Americans, or as oblivious. I don't like being smart. It makes me too aware of all the political climate and the destruction of the world, and it just makes me sad. I'm like, I wish I was as oblivious as everybody else.
Yep.
If everybody else can't be aware, I would like to not be aware.
And this is why we drink.
This is why I do edibles.
Anyway, Sirius, of course, responds, "Nice try, Harry. I'm back in the country and well hidden." I like how his comment is like, "Nice try, kid. Come on. Come on." Who do you think you're dealing with, basically? I feel like Sirius probably had a good chuckle at that letter Harry sent at the beginning of this chapter. He's like, who is he trying to fool here? Come on, man. Put a little bit more effort into this.
This is Padfoot you're talking to, you dumb shit. I'm the king of bullshit.
You see how he signed his letter as Sirius, not Padfoot, not S. Sirius.
That's pretty dumb.
Somebody's
Good way to get fucking found.
Someone's slacking off. At least he's not putting his exact location in the actual letter, though, so you know.
Signed, Sirius Black of Cave Above Hogsmeade.
Wanted for murder. P.S. There's a road for me.
P.S.S.
I don't actually have any violent tendencies.
P.S.S. I'm innocent. P.S.S.S.S. I swear.
P.S.S.S. The government doesn't care.
P.S.S.S.S.S. If you really want to find me, I'm a big black dog with fleas.
James said I should make the transformation permanent. The tail I could live with, but the fleas are murder.
Listen, there's meds for that.
We can get him a flea collar.
Flea medication. Flea prevention.
Magical flea prevention.
That would be great.
Oh, and we get another like little fun tidbit from this chapter is somebody made a comment on Tumblr, shock, and made a comment about how the fact that the books didn't feel super 90s because there was a lot of things that were popular in the 90s that didn't pop up, and somebody actually pulled the excerpt from this actual chapter from Patil, because she had an ornamental butterfly in her hair, basically. So apparently, like those were very.
Oh my god, you remember those? That wasn't really 90s. That was early 2000s.
I mean, we're about halfway through them. Like we're getting close. Like,
we
started in 91, 92, 93. Yeah, we're about halfway through the 90s. So it wouldn't surprise me if somebody was catching on earlier than others. But the fact of the matter is, this was one of those little excerpts and stuff that was just sort of like, you can't say it wasn't. There's some proof. A single passage from a single book in a 7-book series that's got God knows how many pages. But I do appreciate people like pointing out these little things and stuff, and because of that, that little tidbit has always tickled me a little bit. We of course get the introduction of Madame Maxine in this chapter. I love the way she says her name. I don't know why, but the way she says it. Not to mention, I've always had a love of the French accent and stuff and everything.
Which
in the holier than thou French and everything.
That really brings up a good question. So like later in this chapter, she tells Dumbledore to let Hagrid know that the horses only drink single malt whiskey. Wouldn't it be like a wine?
I feel like a wine would be more appropriate, but given the size of the actual horses, I'm thinking Clydesdale size, and they always get associated with beer. You know, from the Budweiser commercials.
I know.
Well, you look like
That's
you were
American. I was trying to think if I remembered anything else, like any other horses with.
I don't really associate horses with wine. I am more willing to associate them with more hard alcohol, though. So I suppose it could
Beer
just be.
Isn't even hard.
Which is also really weird, because I swear I remember there being a line about how it's like they have to have oats mixed with blood.
Yeah, let me see this.
Oats with bull.
Yeah, I remember there was something about chicken blood.
The only time I remember chicken blood being mentioned was the dragon.
No, I mean, in the book it says, please inform the Sagres that the horses only drink single malt whiskey.
I was looking it up online. I'm not seeing anything about it with those horses, but like, I swear I remember. Oh God, I've done a time slip again.
No, we've done a mandala.
You may have fused
Shit,
two
that's what I'm
things
saying,
together.
We've time slipped.
You fused two things together potentially as well. I certainly hope I haven't accidentally replaced one of my friends and my wife, basically, because of this whole time, Mandela time slip bullshit.
Nah, it's just me and her who have slipped. It's fine. Unless any of you else, hey listeners, if there's any listeners out
Anybody
there,
else remember this mandala effect that we've just found out?
or if you know what we are referring to and we're just mixing our creatures.
I do find it kind of funny that over the course of the series, Hermione seems to be the most, Hogwarts is the best and everything, where Ron's the most excited about some of the foreigners, and it slowly shifts for that Hermione's like, this whole point is to garner community within the magical, international, all this other stuff and everything, and Ron's like, you're fraternizing with the enemy.
I mean, yeah. It's only once Harry becomes the champion though. Cause like he does get very excited that oh my God, it's Victor Crumb.
Oh yeah, well he
Harry's
basically
like,
punches him.
I know who it is.
Punches him in the arm. Is like it's him, and Harry's like, I got eyes, jackass.
Look, in Ron's defense, Harry's so oblivious to most things about the magical world, so maybe Ron thought he wouldn't remember. I don't know.
To be perfectly honest, it could be any number of reasons, but the idea of Ron geeking out, so to speak, over sports is still kind of amusing.
Okay, so I know I said, and I was stitching at the same time, but the book, does it say how big the horses are, or just says large horses?
Huge horses snorting and snapping is the line I'm legitimately just looking at.
Okay, because we know that the chariot or whatever, the carriage, is the size of a large house. Which, large for a British house is probably moderate for an American house, so probably like a 900 to 1,200 square foot house. Apparently, because I was also trying to look up the...
Okay, hold on. Dozen winged horses, all palominos, each the size of an elephant.
Okay, it does say, yeah.
That's huge!
Huge! Huge!
The wingspan on these things must have been insane.
I don't want to think about that, because, like...
The carriage has to be as big as a house.
Here's a
the
picture
golden
of the
horses
That's what they are.
tossed their enormous heads and rolled their large, fiery red eyes.
What? You leave the
These
cat
things
alone.
are big.
Yeah.
Sorry, your dog's trying to harass your cat.
It's Pixel. She'll fight back.
And
if it was the other one.
That were wider than dinner plates. That doesn't seem that big for that kind of horse.
Well, no, yeah. If it's wider than a dinner plate, it's at least Brandy. That
not
seems
something.
Right.
That seems like something I don't want to get stepped on. Is what it seems like. Anyway, I think we're getting close to where you need to start running.
Pretty soon.
So I think
couple minutes.
We'll hit Karkaroff real quick and everything. They do everything to basically describe this person as weak of character, so to speak. He's got a goatee that just didn't quite hide his rather weak chin and stuff and everything, and his smiled, like the way he addresses Dumbledore is just sort of like my old pal, like my old pal. It's like he's distancing his friendship with him, if that makes sense. Like he's like, oh, I'm so glad you're doing okay, person that I really don't like, but I have to be polite to, so to speak. How are you, my dear fellow? Like, it's not my dear friend, my pal, or anything along those lines. My dear fellow. It seems like he's intentionally trying to keep Dumbledore. I mean, obviously we know why.
Yeah.
Former Death Eater and all that other nonsense.
Well, and Dumbledore was also at the hearing.
It's not like Dumbledore was responsible for catching him. Dumbledore was even responsible for the guy he was, boot kissing to basically being dead. But yeah, that's pretty much the overarching end of the chapter. If there's any small bits and pieces that anybody wants to reproach and stuff. And it's a relatively long chapter, but not necessarily one that has a whole lot to really discuss. We spend a lot of time going over fan theories and stuff. And the only reason I was pushing to try and keep on track is because you've got places to go.
Yeah.
Also, that's a really nice shirt.
Thanks.
She's got the Calcifer from...
Calcifer! Blah, 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 blah. That's what he does.
Totally recommended. Anyway, I don't really have anything else to discuss and stuff, so if anybody else wants to add anything, I think we can just sign out, so that way Kimmy can get out of here.
Well, if you want more of my content, you can find me on social media at Luna's Creation Corner. One day I'll post again, I promise.
I'm still waiting for my Pokemon knitting knits.
Excuse you? It's crochet, bitch, and you know that, and you did that on purpose.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
I guess you're not going to get any Pokemon crochet then.
Don't insult it.
You're definitely not getting any knits, that's for sure.
Call it what it is. You have a crafty wife. You know what it is.
You're surrounded by women who craft. You know.
It's a good thing it's not witchcraft.
Keep that up, it's gonna be.
Hey, I can teach Brandy, it's cool.
Oh no. Anyway, I'm on Cole Sanders on Twitch and everything. I stream every evening close to night on Mondays and Wednesdays and everything else. Still playing through Persona 3 Reloaded and everything. The way things are going, I'll have that finished just in time for the next Persona game to finally release, and I can start playing that online.
And you can find me on YouTube or FlossTube at Brandywine Stitches, and the rest of the socials at Hockeytown Candle Co.
Anyway, please like, comment, subscribe, tell us what we did wrong, tell us your own personal theories, maybe any details we may have missed out on in this chapter. I love being told when I'm wrong. I get used to it often enough. Anyway, see you guys back here next time. Until then, keep your wands at the ready.